Hello, and welcome to episode 2 of Let's Talk About It, a weekly review show in which I review various Taco Bell food items. I'm your host, Adam Edwards, and this week we will be reviewing the latest item that has taken the country by storm. This is Coca Cola's new limited edition flavor, Starlight. Now, if you have not heard of Starlight, I will go ahead and read an excerpt from Coca Cola's website. Taste the stars today with limited release Coca Cola Starlight. You hold the celestial power of the universe in your hand. Discover what it is like to drink Starlight on Earth for a brief encounter. Infinite possibilities are yours when the ever-cool, indulgent flavor of space hits the hashtag real magic of our great Coca-Cola taste. Starlight's red hue sparkles with a cooling sensation that has been transformed by the magic of space. Transport yourself to a new galaxy with each sip. Discover the sensation before it's gone. Find it near you. So that's what Coca-Cola has to say about this flavor. I'll say right off the bat that when I hold it, I don't necessarily feel the celestial power, but I do see the reddish hue that they are referring to. I'm not sure how well that picks up on video, but promise me, it's there. Now, before we dive in, I have a few things to say. That's my dog, Pax. She seems to be having an allergy attack in the other room. I think she'll be okay, though. So, Coca-Cola and I have an interesting past. I'm more of a Pepsi man myself. I prefer Pepsi products generally through and through. Pepsi, Wild Cherry Pepsi, Mountain Dew, the list goes on. Baja Blast. As you know, I am a Taco Bell fan. Taco Bell is part of the Yum Corporation, which is partnered with Pepsi. Pepsi might even own them. Most of the trash movies that I watch on the Trash Movie Kings podcast incorporate Pepsi in some way. And yet here I am with a Coca-Cola product. Once upon a time, I dated somebody who was from Columbus, Georgia. Now, Columbus is a smaller town in the southwestern corner of Georgia, near the Alabama border. Most people will tell you that Coca-Cola was invented in Atlanta, Georgia. If I were you, I would not mention that to anybody from Columbus. Columbus is supposedly where the original formula for Coca-Cola was formulated. And then Atlanta stole it and, well, it's basically like stolen valor for them. So if you meet anybody from Columbus, Georgia, don't mention Coca-Cola or Chick-fil-A or really anything. They're generally pleasant people, but they kind of have an inferiority complex with that large city that's a little bit to the north of them. So, I'm not much of a Coca-Cola person. Coca-Cola used to be a staple of mine when it came to going to the movies. I loved going to the movies and getting a nice big cherry Coke to wash down my popcorn with. Recently, most of the theaters around me have switched to Pepsi, which has honestly been very pleasing as like I've mentioned, prefer Pepsi. The few theaters that still have Coca-Cola products, however, have gotten rid of the standard fountain process of Coca-Cola. And instead they give you a large cup, sometimes filled with ice, sometimes not, and they send you into another room off to the side of the concession stand that is lined with sometimes ice machines, but mostly Coca-Cola Freestyle machines. In that way, you can have whatever drink, whatever beverage your heart desires. Now, I have an issue with the Coca-Cola Freestyle machines, because while it is true that I can get a cherry Coke from the Freestyle machine, it's not really a cherry Coke. It is a Coke with cherry syrup added to it. That's not the formula that I enjoy. When I want a cherry Coke, goddammit, I want a cherry Coke, not a cherry Coke freestyle. Luckily, Pepsi has not yet succumbed to this kind of bullshit behavior, so when I go to the store and I order a wild cherry Pepsi, I know that I'm getting a wild cherry Pepsi. That's one of the many reasons that I have strayed from the light of Coca-Cola and into the warm embrace of Pepsi. This new product, however, being previously formulated and bottled, as you can see here, it inspires a little bit in me, and I figure I'll give it a shot. I'll see what it's all about. Let's see what the hubbub is about, Several of my friends have tried it. I've heard varying reports as to the flavor profile of this beverage and the feelings that it evokes. So I am very curious to jump in and find out for myself. Now, on this product itself, I picked up this Coca-Cola bottle at a local CVS pharmacy. I walked in, I went to the beverage section, I opened the cooler, and I pulled out the Coca Cola Starlight. Imagine my surprise when I saw the price tag of $2.49. This Coke, after tax, was over $2.50. That is absurd. Frankly, I find it to be criminal. I know that inflation is hitting all of us, but this cannot stand. A 20-ounce bottle of Coca-Cola would normally go for $1, $1.25. You think about if you go to a vending machine that has bottles, no one in their right mind would put in $2 and then 2 additional quarters to receive a beverage like this. Now, maybe I paid a premium because I purchased it at a CVS instead of at, say, a gas station or an H-E-B. Regardless, $2.50, that's a 2-liter, not a 20-ounce bottle. It's also worth noting that I purchased this Coca-Cola in Conroe, Texas, which is roughly an hour drive outside of my home of Houston. So by the time I got home, this beverage was warm to the touch. Now, my friend Justin suggested that I wet a paper towel, wrap it around this beverage, and throw it in the freezer for 30 minutes. That's what I've done. I don't know if it will appropriately emulate the coldness that you receive fresh out of a display case, which I believe is the best way to enjoy this beverage. But, we'll see what happens. I should also note that I was in Conroe, Texas for a crawfish boil, so my mouth might be a little off when it comes to taste because it has since been filled with various spices, potatoes, corn, mushrooms, and, of course, crawfish. So we will see how all of these factors play into the tasting experience of Coca Cola Starlight. Get yours today. Now, without further ado, let's go ahead and crack this open. Pretty good hiss. Good and well carbonated. Not seeing a ton of bubbles here. That's a little concerning. We got a lot of hiss. I'm now worried that this might be a flat Coca Cola Starlight. Really, you would think that if you wanted to evoke Starlight, you might want to put extra carbonation in this beverage, as it is a darker beverage, much like the night sky, and the bubbles would create a sort of starlight appearance, right? A very effervescent appearance. As you can see, it's quite more clear than a regular Coca-Cola. It does have that reddish hue. It smells sweeter than a regular Coca-Cola. All right, let's see what this Coca Cola Starlight is all about. Bombs away. Okay. So some of the tasting reports that I've heard have been Coke, Coke with marshmallow, and the most recent one, which I find to be the most intriguing, Coke mixed with cherry icy. I'm definitely getting a very cherry-forward flavor in this Coca Cola Starlight. To me, it tastes close to a cheerwine, which is a beverage off of the East Coast, I believe from the Carolinas. It's sort of a cherry soda, not so much of a cola flavor, just more of a cherry flavor. Cheerwine, I enjoy greatly. This one is pretty good. I don't quite understand where the Starlight flavor comes from, but maybe a couple of more sips will get us there. Interesting. I find it has a very cherry-forward flavor, and then as the drink finishes, it does have a little bit of a roasted marshmallow after finish, which some lunatic on Reddit, excuse me, some lunatic on Reddit equated to the feeling that you get when you are sitting around a campfire and looking at the starlight. And that is what this is meant to evoke. Hello, Pax. I don't know if I fully agree with that, but it's there. A little bit of a roasted marshmallow at the end, definitely cherry forward. Like I mentioned, this is essentially cheer wine. Part of me wonders if the Coca-Cola people are trying to encroach on the very, very narrow market that cheer wine currently enjoys. I'm not entirely sure. I find it interesting that the bottle asks you to recycle it. It's very eco-friendly of Coca-Cola. One more sip. Okay. Ultimately, it's a good beverage. I would recommend it. If you are looking for a nice sweet treat, Coca Cola Starlight probably won't do you wrong. It is caffeinated. According to this, it contains 57 milligrams of caffeine per 20 fluid ounces. So be sure to factor that into your decision to imbibe a Starlight Coca-Cola for your next sweet treat. I don't know if I will drink this again, but then again, I rarely drink sodas unless I'm at a movie theater. If they happen to have a Coca-Cola Starlight at a movie theater and I happen to be seeing a space-themed film such as Moonfall, maybe I will get a Coca-Cola Starlight again. Beyond that, I'm not entirely sure. Before I sign off, I'll have one more sip. Okay. One more thing to say before I go. It doesn't leave quite the same film on the inside of your mouth as a regular Coca-Cola does, which I do find pleasant. The lack of film, I should say. The regular film is quite disgusting. So, yes, that is a major plus for Coca-Cola Starlight. And that's really all I have to say about Coca-Cola Starlight. So thank you for joining me on episode 2 of Let's Talk About It, a weekly review show in which I talk about various Taco Bell food items. I'm your host, Adam Edwards, and we'll see you next time.